I'm recording this session now too with video. If you want to set up your screen share, then I'll go ahead and
Yes.
pop off for a little while. But I'm going to start the event too. Starting the event to let everyone know that we're up. Okay.
That's fine.
Okay. And the floor is yours, Hank. Thank you.
Yep. Thank you as well. And see you in a bit. All right, guys. I need to. It's been a while since I've recorded a session. I used to be a gamer before this, so when I was recording, it used to be gaming related usually, or it would be like some sort of coaching thing that I would do. But yep, it's been a while, so hopefully the recording is going well. And but yeah, save your questions for later. It would be nice if you can write them down if you stumble upon anything. But yep, let's go. Let's set this up. Doo-doo-doo. Oh. Oh, and for the newcomers, yeah, sorry, space. I want everybody to be muted so we can have a Q&A session afterwards. Alrighty, cool, Leo. And I would just because I had a little downfall today. Oh wow, a little because my parents had five little kittens, and one of them was supposed to be mine. Um, but he didn't make it. So, yeah, that was kind of a bummer, but at least this is a nice lighting point for my day. So, yep. Right. So you can see this. Yep. Should be fine. So, guys, welcome. Let me close some things that I should not share. Welcome to the workshop, the first workshop of Figma. And as I've seen last time, is that there's so many people that are not familiar with Figma. And I was kind of astonished why. Well, not why. I was kind of excited too because I use it in my day-to-day workflow. The last thing I created was this banner thing, uh, which I kind of keep breaking down apparently. But yeah, I made a few banners, which you can also you go to my profile, spotlight me. But if you go to let's see, it should be on figma.com/Hank. You can always find it there, and you can get a copy, and you can. I think probably after this session, we can. You're able to manipulate those banners, perhaps. If not, let me know. Um, but that's kind of my goal. To show you as much as I can do this session, and hopefully I get some good requests from you afterwards. So let's go. All right. So first of all, I'm not a nude guy. I don't really have a default presentation set up. But as some of you might know, what's really important is that you get to know the interface, of course. So, let's open a new file. You don't have to do this, by the way. You don't have to do this right now. Do it after the session. Um, this will be recorded, so you can just follow along. Uh, hope my mic is good actually, because I just ordered a new mic. It should be coming in the next hour or so, or it should have been already here, but so if the doorbell rings, I will just. But yeah, if you can hear me well, that's fine for now. Let me check if that's the truth. All right, I see thumbs up. That's perfect. Cool. Okay, next time it will be even better. Even though it's not the most expensive one, but right. I've seen somebody. Okay, let's go through the basics. Um, yeah. Wait, this is the home screen, as you might have seen. Click a new design file, and now comes the thing where so this is the default screen where you can set the color of your background the way you like. I like it a bit. I don't like it black. I like it a bit like dark gray, like a bit off black maybe. So this color is usually my go-to. Um, clicking here, you can type in anything that you like, and it will save. Um, the first thing you'll do is you will set a frame, as Figma works with frames. So as you can see here on the right panel, we have phone, tablet, desktop, presentation, watch, paper, social media. As you see, I used a few of those for the Twitter banner. Also, for a lot of different purposes, you can use it, but also for a lot of different size screen sizes, right? So, in
Uh,
terms of
excuse me, Hank.
yes, yes.
Can you focus a little bit what is on the right? Because it's difficult to read.
Oh,
Uh,
is it difficult to read?
yes, just a little bit bigger
Uh, shit.
because it's difficult to read.
Yeah, there should be an option here, hopefully. Ugh. Um, our plugins. That's a good call. I can just name it out for now, and hopefully in the recording it will display better for you. I'm sorry it's not displaying well, but yeah, when you press next to the cursor, there's this thing called frame, and you can choose a wide range of different sizes. and generally we use the same sizes throughout web development. And for example, what is a nice, yeah, it's not really something I can ask right now, but you might have a guess like, okay, what's the what's the 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 average size, right? What do most people use for their desktop, for their mobile, like, and I can show you this quick. Um, which uh, let's just use 2020. So actually, it's I expected more, to be honest. Maybe I should look into 23. No, but let's see. Is this the whole year? Oh wow. No, but generally it is 1920, but 1080, 30, 60, 60. And however, you don't need to use those screen sizes to implement. For example, if I were to create that exact, I should go to desktop. I think it's actually hidden here. Yeah, on the Instagram story plugin cover. No, it's not. But it's not where it's supposed to be. And that's for a reason because we can automatically scale according to like it's dynamic, right? So it will just scale alongside of how big your screen is. So that's not an issue. But there's a general guideline, and as I am a big fan of working with design systems, I generally have the same all caps lock, of course. It is not in here. That's somewhere else. But the beauty of this thing is that we can use. So you might be overwhelmed by just looking at all of those things, right? But if you click on your name on the top left and you click on community, um, type in design system, for example, and go by trending. There's a lot of design systems that are well done, like fully fleshed out, like even companies just give their design system away for free. So one of them that I know this one. But generally they all have the same as you can see they name the colors which you can use I will explain that later, by the way. But here, standard MacBook, it's standard desktop, it does go all the way to but you don't need to use this like one is enough. So generally I use 3066, which is also referred here. Well, it was. Damn, they upgraded there. But then it's usually this one. And let's do this right now. So I just copy pasted this one by just Control V, but let's just create it ourselves. So I just use desktop, which should be the same size. Let's see. And how you move through Figma, the easiest way is by using Control, holding Control, and if you have a mouse or if you have a trackpad on your laptop, you can hold that and you can move around like this. And if you want to zoom out, um, I forgot. It's been a while. I've worked too much on my Windows PC, but I will put it back in, and I will make sure that the people will know how after. All right. So that's one. Um, so how to navigate? There's a really nice keyboard or layout for how to, and this differs by your OS. So even though you might think I'm on Mac, I'm actually not. I'm just using I love working with Mac OS, but I have a really I have a MacBook M1 which only accepts one screen. So it's generally I prefer to work with two screens. So I jump on my PC and so this might be different depending on your OS, but most of all, the most important ones are the ones that I will explain to you, as this might seem a little bit confusing. So this is our frame. Mm-mm. And our frame is basically well, you can put things in a frame. It's basically like a section of a website, right? That's how I would call it. So to give a good example is, for example, I love this flamingo style um, thing, and you might think like, wow, that's really well done, but actually, you might already see the trick. And one thing I really don't like is this huge button. Okay, so it's a bit better, but basically, this is it's a frame within, and in this frame is screen. So the biggest one is the background, you could call it. So the first one could be the background, or well, you don't see this on websites. Let's be honest. This is just because this is just a display thing, right? So what we do is um, we ungroup this. We take out background, which was actually not a frame, which I don't like, because if you make a frame, you can also make a frame the background, right? And by, for example, here by fill, if I do Control Alt C and I do Control Alt V on this, now I can just delete this, and this suddenly has that property of that image without me owning that image, which is really nice. So that's why I always prefer to use frames, as they are flexible, and that also means you can do a lot of other stuff. For example, as you can see here, um, oh, there are all the options again. This is the corner radius. And as you might have seen a lot, is where people do like this, or actually the opposite. They do it with this, and get like 40 or something, right? Maybe even 50. Like, but this is how they present them. It's like those Instagram people or on Dribble. um, but otherwise, we can still manipulate it by just clicking on. So what I just did is um, I used I copied the style of a frame to paste it on another frame, so I can, or I actually took the properties, like the styling, and I paste it onto a frame so I can then use it further, and it will make more sense soon. But this is a cutout flamingo, and I don't want to ruin the flamingo there. But here you can see that it's a nice flamingo. I wanted to do something cool. Let's see. You can actually use we can actually use a plugin for this. So you have Unsplash. Maybe you've heard of Unsplash. Okay. Maybe you've heard of Unsplash. It's a very common website for um, getting free images, high quality images, and they are royalty free, and you can use them for anything. It's nice as a fill in, but let's do an animal. Let's do something. Okay, I kind of want to in. I kind of want your input here. I think this will be fun. Okay, let's use the chat maybe for this. How do I get into the chat? But I will just scroll through those, and you tell me which one we're gonna use. I know my pick. This one's cute too. Oh, and this one is beautiful. I love colors. Anything with colors is nice. This one is beautiful too. All right. That's all I can give you. Now, where's the chat? How do I enter the chat? Oh, you can still hear me? Please tell me if you can. Which one do you like? Which one do you like? And we will go with that as soon as possible. The parrot. You like the parrot? I can get the parrot.
Yeah, let's go parrot.
Let's go parrot. Okay, let's go parrot. All right. So now the beauty thing is okay. Well, we need Photoshop to get the background gone, right? Eh, Figma got a plugin for that. It's called Remove Background, or well, Remove BG. So select it. Make sure Remove BG is on, and then just click it, run, and there we go. It's like that. It's simple as that. And what we can do after is we have an image, right? It's an image. This flamingo has some other properties, but doesn't really matter. We got a flamingo here. You can click on the image. You can even do a crop. So we can make it smaller. And what I like to do is to copy the rest onto. Okay. Well, let's just use that frame. And I think this frame stems from, no, it's not from the feathers, is it? Even though we could create one from this one. So what we could do is duplicate this by pressing Control D, and then oh, okay. By the way, pressing K, you can just scale it, so you don't have to. Yep, and let's do it like this. Put the parrot aside. We have to make sure that this goes into that frame. That's all. So this is the parrot frame. So everything on the left, I'm gonna make it a little bit cleaner so you can see what we have. And what we right now is there's a layer between it, right? And you can always use the eye to hide and do things. Okay, so we can use that, and again we can crop this. You can already see the translucency, but what you can also do is make the translucency well, even more so the image, so you can better see what you have. Press K again. Find a good well, actually I don't really like this at all. Don't like this image. Let's just oop. So you can just fill it with any other thing. It's quite as fine. Um But I think we like the feathers. Oh, this K again. Okay, there we go. So the rest we can crop. And as you see how easy that was, it just automatically now what we do is put it back to 100. And as you can see, there's the big contrast. So as a designer, well, I automatically say like, okay, we need to dim down the exposure, something like this, you know. We'll see after. All right. Put the thing aside. And let's get our example back. The flamingo. And maybe put the flamingo inside there. And also, you can see that once you put, see, right now, the screen is outside of the frame one. But now that I dragged it in there, it's inside of there. So you can just drag it in there. And if you don't think it's centered enough, you can, it's centered enough. But you can do stuff like that. So you can just say, oh, to the left, to the right? I think you get the gist. Cool. So, flamingo or parrot time. Flamingo time. What can we do? I actually like this. I like this out of. Okay. But we have to So I did like this screen right here. Remember that I just took this from a community made thing, right? I found it using the community. So like all the like there's so much to learn, and you can learn from other people's stuff. You can create resumes, you can do all those plugins, just whatever you can come up with, it's probably there by now. Okay, where's the parrot? Let's name this one Flamingo. But we also want this screen, which has a header, which is this. Just cool. We can use that as well. And what I did there is I simply just pasted it onto ours. And what the nice thing about this is that you can also immediately see that it stretches because it's bound to the left. It the it has constraints. So if I were to say right center, or let's make it a bit more difficult if I were to scale and then okay, well this is too easy. But generally my go-to is to put it constraints is always as you can see, this is at the top, so you want to say, okay, I want it left and right and top. But yeah, we can use this, and we can even give it a fill if you wanted to, and maybe even say like, okay, 10%, but that's not ideal. So the text. And as you can see, the text is actually one behind the flamingo and one on top of the flamingo. Which we can do the same. I mean, first of all, we could copy it, Control V. Um, see, low. All right, thank you.
I got you, Hank. Yeah, I made it.
Cool. So this is the one that goes on top. And let's find the one that goes underneath, which should be, where is it? Upwards, like, no, that's the, yep, it should be this one. Perfect. So I just copied it so I can just take whichever I want. And what they basically did is they aligned both on top of each other. So the thing is, they put this in auto layout, which is fine, but it's a bit too complicated to go over right now. So I just removed the auto layout, so it's everything is just draggable everywhere instead of being boxed in. So a funny thing is that the screen here has a fill, which is my go-to as well. So what I can do is just copy the screen again, but let's just remove the rest. Oh. So all we have left is, well, we can actually save those since they added those special little spotlights, you could call them. And now here, what do we do? Well, it's an the layer basically has a hierarchy. So what we want to do is we want to put the, let's see, the screen behind the rest, but not all the rest. And what we'd like to do is align this with that. Auto. Yeah, we can do that. Okay. Although I kind of miss, you know what I mean? We can do this. So because it's cut off here, which is like a bit of a no-go. I kind of forgot. So what we can do is make sure that this image is inside of the screen layer. But copy it again. And this is very advanced, probably. My apologies for that. But this is the only the way I can make it work. Mm. Well, let's go with this for first, and let's just make the parrot work. Oh, by the way, Gilroy is not for free, but let's check it all this. And apparently, I looked it up, and Gilroy is free to use for personal use, so you can't use it for commercial use, but you can just download it and use it for your personal use, which is really nice. This parrot, so they are the same. Oh, I'm so stunned, so bummed out that it's maybe we can increase the size. Yeah, we can't really decrease the size. That's a bummer. So if I were to look up this one, I can do this, and I can just copy the dimensions of the this one, so with the lines, it should align. Mm. Now we have the header, we have the splash thing, which is this one on top, which we can probably. So let's just forget about the rest of. But we will keep those in mind for later. Um, and we'll get back to getting back our. So that works. But now what we want is to. I can always go back to. But you can also see they are inbound, so they're not going out of the frame. Which I feel we have to do as well, just to. So let's just do that, so we don't make it ourselves too or myself too complicated, and hopefully yourself not too complicated as well, because this is not easy. It's like the parrot situation, but it's like even worse. What we can do, however, since this is nice to have in the background. So what if we to put this in the middle? Oh, and what? Okay, okay. So this is back on our screen frame. I call it the parrot container. The header is this one, the wild birds, which should actually be inside, isn't it? Yep. Oh, I clicked it away. Good job. But what we can also do is create a little animation afterwards. So let's put this back to 0, like they have. Let's we can increase the size actually of the whole. I like 1920 by, especially because, oh wait, don't forget to do the constraint properties. So if you do 1920, oh, oh wow, looks too. So you can just center that like that. And this is a bit jiffy since it's scaling, but it doesn't need to be scaled, so you can just click that away. It's a new feature. But I think it's nice if we can kind of like put the parrot in the middle, like they have. Oh, it's not really in the middle, is it? Oh, it is. This is the align vertical centers. That's cool. So we can do that. So it'll look better in the, but we need to put this behind. So you can use the hotkey, or you can just right click. Every time I put up this menu, by the way, I use the right click. Let's see, this should be 216. I resized it one time. It's not very good of me. But you can just align this over that, and it should be perfecto. Although it's a little bit small. I can make it bigger. Right. That's a parrot. Now, let's put in the text. And this text was automatically generated from the other one. But the thing is, it's using this whole space that I don't see necessary. So what I like to do personally is right click, ungroup it. So it's this small text again. It should be. We can use this alignment functions. It's called auto align. This was already auto layout. Basically, auto layout is gonna make your whole animation, prototyping, everything is gonna make it very fluid, and it's very once you get it, it's very fun. But to explain it, it's a little bit harder, so I don't really want to go over that right now since we don't have that much time anymore. I noticed that this one feels a bit. Maybe that's fine. We could even say like, okay, give it our way, but also the button. So apparently I framed it, but what you can do is I took it out of there. It was in like a frame that was auto layout. So hence I could say this. I think we should keep it that way as well. And especially I like this. Although maybe we should opt for this. Let's not really focus too much on alignment. But you can drag stuff measurements from each corner of the screen, and you can also um, remove them that way, which is really nice. So I can quickly see like, okay, this is where I want it to be, and then I can just do this, and it automatically snaps on, which is nice. Okay, let's make it work with the rest, right? So let's see which one can let's just use this. Okay, let's use this flamingo then. Should be the same size. No, it's not. It's 1600 by 1200. And mine is 1920 by. Let's see if this works. Oh, that works, but we have to manipulate this. See how big this one is. 18. Okay, that's not very nice. So, um, generally, what we do is against. So it's called rounding. So it's better round to pixel. And I like that. But you do have to select it. So for now, 1616. Make it 1600, which does need to. And this one too. Again, if you don't follow this or have questions, please ask, and I will make sure you will get it. Um, so this is 1600. We can make this 1150, which wouldn't really matter that much. Nope. And here it won't either. 1600s. Let's see what happens here. So again, it's nice that it just scales like that, but you can see that it needs to be bigger that way. Okay. It's okay. Now it's in the middle. Where's the button? I like this button to go up. So here in the design panel, there's a rotation. So if I do 180, it should face up. And what if we just get out and let's see. Okay, I'm gonna be a bit nitpicky here. Let's see how many. So it's always annoying with those. Never mind, it's fine. Let's just make this work. We can do the alignment after, or another time, if it's important to you. For me, it's important, but yeah, I still don't like this. I mean, it might be preference, but I prefer something a bit more like this, you know, where the background is. Okay, so now the magic is gonna happen. Flamingo. So we go with prototype. And we go with flow starting point. This is the starting point. Interactions. Yes. Because we want on click. We want it to go to there. So like this. And you can do it by an instance, or you can do it by smart animate, which is very you can do it by dissolve. You can do a slide in. We can do a slide in first, but let's do it from the top. As it should go from top and it should also go backwards. So again, click, navigate. This is prototype section, by the way, not design anymore. We can navigate from, oh no. Yes, it should go to parrot actually. It's perfect. And then as we did a slide in here, you can also see how it slides out. You want, right? But this also can help in the same way. Let's just see what happens, right? Yep. So flow 1 means that it starts here. And we can do fit to screen. And this is how you can kind of like do animations. But we can probably even spice it up a little bit more by my favorite one, which is Smart Animate. And it's very tricky. Eek. It doesn't sound cool. Or dissolve. We can try dissolve. Why is there this bouncy thing? Okay. Yep. There's a lot of options to dabble in too. But I just want to show you this last thing really quick. Ease in, ease out. Is it ease in? It should ease out. Again, click on the flow. Well, it's not really optimized right now. Oh, okay, that was and it's mostly because of how it transforms. So if I were to put them next to each other, and they had the same layout basically, then it would transform, like you would see it transform in a whole different way, which is one of the cool things about Smart Animate. I'm gonna show you one Smart Animate. Let's go with Smart Animate cats. Who doesn't like the cats? Yeah, those things, they take time. They always take fiddling around. If you like fiddling around, then you will love this. First of all, it doesn't mouse over. Oh, that's not the one I meant. Uh, Probably I have it somewhere in my drafts. As I'm an avid collector of things. Dark. 70. Um, Metal, yeah, has a lot of cool stuff. But yeah, this is how you get a lot of inspiration from, and it's just endless of inspiration from here, and it's really fun. And here I can see they made when you click on the hamburger menu, it opens up a whole widescreen menu like this, which is really cool. And yeah, that's something we can dive into as well. depending on which way you want to go. And it's actually easier than you think it is once you get the grasp of the basics. But the basics, in the end, is just a lot of tooling around, using all the plugins you can find. Which probably the best way is by doing it through the community, finding things you like. Uh, don't hesitate to just type in random things, right? Like gradients. You can see what people use for gradients. Like every day there's new stuff. Look at how many gradients there are. 200 gradient plugins. And but I would love to see somebody creating something like this. And if you missed any steps, I probably did, then I'd love to hear them and I will help you create it and have the animation working as I could in this quick workshop. But I hope you kind of see the potential, like in a design perspective, on the web development perspective. I mean, if you put those underneath each other, it's a website, right? Excluding, yeah. I mean, you could, uh, but yeah. Let me. I'd love to hear about your questions, and thank you so much for listening. And hope to see you another time. Hopefully, peace.
Thank you so much, Hank, for your presentation today. That had a lot of information. It was very thorough.
It was very harsh, wasn't it? It was very skipping over a lot of things.
No, I think it was good because we could visually follow along and everything. And for those that um, needed to hop off and stuff, I did record it. So hopefully my recording within
Oh
my
yeah,
my stream worked because our Craig Bear dropped off in the middle of it. So
he
I'm
was
super
like, he was
glad.
like, I'm done with this shit.
No, you did great. Thank you, Hank.
No, no, but like I actually recorded it as well. Let me
Awesome.
check if it has done something. But it's a how large is this? Okay, it's a let me check.
Yeah, mine says that it's still
Yeah,
going for like an
no,
hour.
it's perfect. Mine
Yeah,
is
awesome.
perfect.
Cool, cool.
I don't know.
So let's see. Let's check out the questions then. Here we have from Anarasi. Anarasi.
Oh
The
yeah,
the
the
design
first
style in Web 3 seems quite distinct from regular Web 2. Any tips on developing a good sense of for Web 3 products?
yes. I mean, to go back to the recording question, I will upload it right away um, to YouTube if that's uh, something that you guys prefer. But in terms of designing in Web3, basically this was just a Web2 intro into Figma, right? So before we want to, or I want to dive into how to create a landing page, um, like whatever you have in mind for Web3. I've probably seen it already, of or even worked with it already. Um, but how any tips for how developing a good sense for Web3 products? Um,
I think he means aesthetic wise.
listen to what they have in mind. Like you could, what as a designer, what I like to do is I like to come up with like, hey, this is an idea, or this is something I like. I think this fits with well with your um idea, or maybe even your brand, like if they have a logo or something, right? And from there, it's just in the end, it's just Web3, but connecting it with Web or Web2, connecting it with Web3.
Right.
Aesthetic
I
sense,
Yeah.
it's really the same. I mean, it's generally darker. What I noticed is generally this darker vibe. I purposely chose very well. It's quite flamboyant, but yeah, like in my other designs, like let's see, I s- yeah, like like there is a trend, if that's what you mean. There is a trend going on, and the trend is mostly dark. Um, dark blue, um, hints of like I see a lot of the this there actually it's way too easy for designers to create something for Web3 right now because it's almost a bit dull, even though it can be it's up to you to just create it like how they like any other, where you can just be and try innovative with it, right? And what I've seen from the good projects is little things and where they innovate in. And that's something that I really envy and I really appreciate probably more. It's but yeah, like right now when I have in my NFT projects file, it's a lot of dark. It's a lot of dark purple, blue, um, planets, planets, um, gradients. It's gradients with it's basically 2022 design style still. Yeah, like it really you just follow the trend, but the trend in Web3 is generally like everybody wants to be dark, but like does it have to be dark when everybody does it? I don't think so. Like it just depends what fits your product, right? Like I really appreciate the light website of Alchemy, for example, for even though they still abide by the trends of those blobs, what I call them, like those backlights that you see, and those gradients, but like otherwise it's very white, like it's the white version of what I see as commonly in other projects where they are leaning towards a dark kind of aesthetic.
Would you say it's good practice to have both like a light version and a dark version?
Yep, I do think so. I mean, when you wake up, it's nice to have a light version. But let's be honest, when it's 2 a.m. or something, and you're like, let's go to alchemy.com, you're like, BAM! Like, and you can't really change your brightness that fast. Where's the dark mode button, right?
I love the dark mode button. I think that was like a new innovation that Web3 started to normalize was the dark mode button.
Oh, I have to no, but like it's a trend. It's a trend, and it should be a trend because it's what people want. And if it's something that people want, then give it to them, right? I mean, it's not like okay. I mean, it's logical that people want something like that. Um, I like dark mode. I like light mode sometimes, but I prefer dark mode over light mode sometimes, mostly actually. But not in the sense that it's like, oh, it has to be dark with like purple to blah blah gradients. Um, for example, let me share this link. Yeah, let me share this link here. This is exactly what I mean with like an example of the dark mode one, right? You could just click it and you can, I don't think you need an account for that. But yeah, that's for me this is like very cliche. And it looks nice and everything, but like does it stand out? Is it really like is this like a success project or is this just one of the tens, hundreds? And where do you yeah, like I think there's a lot in the design. And again, you scroll and or control and uh zoom in with the scroll wheel to kind of dive in, but you can also click on a frame if you want and press plus so you can zoom in on, for example, the login page or the sign up page. You can just click on the title and then press plus. But yeah, this is a trend, and I think we will see it throughout the rest of the year. Um, I'm not against it. It's something from last year, but usually we follow Apple. We follow Apple and everything. It's it's quite an interesting phenomenon, like how everybody follows Apple and whatever they do, and yeah,
Cool. Thank you for that. Any other questions before we wrap up? We're running a little bit over
yeah,
time.
no worries.
But any last questions before we close for today? We're gonna go ahead and open the floor for you guys. So if you guys have any questions, go ahead and just go ahead and speak.
Yay, let's go. No, that's a good one, and I know that teacher. He's a really good one. And yep, definitely use outside sources. Uh, use me for questions when you're stuck. I'm here to help.
Okay, so I'm reading
Um,
over Sylvie's
yep.
question here. She says she has to go. Thank you for joining, Sylvie.
Yeah, that's what I was replying to.
Oh, okay, sorry. I wasn't sure. Yeah, so yeah. Thank you. Go ahead. Yeah, Sylvia was asking if we could get help from you for future projects. Yeah.
Definitely. Let's do it. So thank you everybody for tuning in. Um, I know it wasn't that streamlined this time. It was a bit like what do I want to show and what don't I want to show? And then I saw those flamingos and I was like, yeah, man. But I there's so much possibilities and see you next time maybe.
All right. Yeah. Thank you so much, Hank. All right. See you, everybody. I'll have the recording up in our Design Guild announcements and also in the Figma forum. I'll make a Figma forum for everybody so you can make your comments and everything there. I did notice that a lot of people have been asking for feedback as far as their designs for their website and all that. So we can also use um, that section in our forums too for those that want some help as your own personal projects. So thank you again, everybody, for coming. And
Yep,
we'll
thank
see
you.
you guys at the next workshop.
Yep, thank you.
Thank you.
Bye.